Well, after our first disappointment in the last episode, as we crashed out of the Champions League at the quarter-final stage of our first offence, we now have to turn our attention quickly and pick ourselves up for domestic competitions. We go into a surprise FA Cup semi-final today against a side bottom of the Championship and in administration. We're going to try and gamble and rest everyone for that, because 3 days later, we head to Anfield to face Liverpool in what will surely now be a title decider. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 154 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today for what on paper is a very winnable FA Cup tie as we look to head towards a collision course with Liverpool in the final again. We also then head to Anfield in the second half of this episode for a crucial game. We're looking to get our Premier League crown back from Liverpool. We are 4 points clear with 6 games to go, but Liverpool will be looking to close that gap to 1 by beating us in midweek, and if they do, it will pile the pressure on ahead of the final few weeks of the season. If you're looking forward to seeing how we get on there and what tactic we decide to play after having mixed success with the more defensive option in the 2 big games this year, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But first of all, mid-April, 8 degrees and raining. That's exactly what we expect, isn't it? We know we've got 2 key players out, Jorg Robertson and perhaps most importantly Lewis Herbert. That was costly against Barcelona as Hansen and Rakowski struggled together. And you don't want to lose your skipper at this stage of the season, do you? We've not played anything off camera because, of course, it's all been about these big games. We're in a run of 6 matches, all being shown on camera. The first 4 have been mixed. If we can get through these 2, if we can avoid defeat against Liverpool, it'll be a great episode regardless. As long as we don't trip up against Borough, because as we saw in the last episode when having a little nose, they are a bit of a weird story, which we'll look at a bit more at the end of the year. But they are bottom of the Championship because they are in administration. Now, they're already relegated with games to spare. The whole squad that we played on Tuesday night against Barca is going to have to be rested. So let's just go and get through to the weekend and hope that we can sneak through with a very rotated squad. Well, here is fitness test time, and as you can see, there are plenty who are on the cusp at the minute. We're a squad that's sort of bumbling towards the line when it comes to fitness rather than being in great shape. But they are playing a 4-4-2 Borough, and we should be far too strong. You can see the assistant is saying, just rest everyone, get the changes in. I'm not sure, though, in positions like central defence, we've actually got the squad depth to do it. So we're going to have to make some adjustments here. We'll see if we can get an 11 together that doesn't involve any of the stars. But obviously, we still want to avoid embarrassment here and make sure we're in the final. Because if we go and have a look at the other one, Liverpool have already made it. They beat Brentford, another Championship side, by 2-1. And that means that it's going to be the battle in all 3 domestic competitions. We snuck past them in the League Cup final. We're battling with them for the title, that crucial game on Tuesday or Wednesday night. And this one, we're vying for the right to play them in the final. And it could be that Liverpool deny us a great finish to this save, or we could get all of our crowns back off of them. Well, here is what we've gone for in the end. And we've taken a few gambles, I think, but we should be strong enough to get through here. We've gone for Logan McNaughton, the backup goalkeeper, with Andre and Garnier at right back. Tried to gamble on him, hoping he'll get forward, create chances, and I want him to play big games. Memic moves into centre-half alongside Vite because, of course, the injury to Herbert. Then in midfield, we've gone for the legend, the hero, the man who's leaving at the end of the year. Ucolano might be his final game before he goes to Boca Juniors. Can he put us in an FA Cup final? He's on the right with Vasquez on the left. Torres and Muscat combine in the middle. And up front, it's the legend Teddy Ivanov alongside an out-of-form Liban Elmi. He has not scored in his last 4 matches. I'd really like him to put that right today. If we're going well, we've got the likes of Roy Curley and Gouillard on the bench, as well as Adamson, who needs a few minutes. But for now, we go through to the FA Cup semi-final. We've got to avoid a shock, despite rotating the whole team. Well, 3 changes for Borough. Of course, no familiar names left in that team, a side that has been having a fire sale even this season as they continue their struggles financially. But they've got a great day out at Wembley, a lovely moment for the fans to help them know that everything will be all right as they prepare for League One football next year. So what an achievement for them, but we can't give them any encouragement here. We were poor against Barcelona, we got found out a little. I want to put that right today. Well, a quiet start here, but with 7 minutes gone, It's Middlesbrough have the first corner, but fortunately for us, doesn't beat the first man, and Muscat can bring it away. Can we now hit them on the counter? Muscat loses another challenge. Just waiting to see which player gets injured today, as has been our luck this season. As Andre finds Elmi, who drops in for Muscat. He's got space to run into. Later, Muscat. Good save by the goalkeeper. Really good work from him. And he started that counter-attack as well. Been a lovely break. Vasquez will take the corner. This is where we miss a Lewis Herbert, as we did in midweek. Liban Elmi goes up, and he might have been pushed here. Are we going to get a penalty? Michael Oliver's still going. God, he might need a walking stick to get around at this age. He must be pushing his 50s, 60s maybe. Penalty awarded to Southend. It's going to be taken by the man, the myth, the legend, Teddy Ivanov. Always delivers when we need it. And he does again now. Up in 10 minutes against Middlesbrough. The excitement is short-lived for them. We are 1-0 up. We're doing our job professionally. And we're on our way to the final against Liverpool again. Well, just a few minutes later, and here we are at right back with Garnier as we look to play out to Ukulano. It's a squad of people that haven't played together much this year, but it should really be men's v boys at this stage because the amount of players they've sold, they're down to a threadbare squad as well. As Elmi, still a world-class striker, finds Vasquez, who's still a world-class winger. Back into Elmi. Back out to Vasquez. Two in the middle. Ukulano's one. There is a player who, I know from the confidence point of view, there are plenty of other candidates, but from a sentimental point of view, I would love Ukulano to score today. I can't lie to you. As we've got a corner kick, in-swinger from Vasquez, up towards the back stick. No pushes and penalties this time, but Elmi gets it back for Torres. He thought about the shot, but went back to Andre, and it does just peter out, but it's been a dominant performance already, and this could be 3 or 4 if Borough aren't careful. Hopefully, we can really put them to the sword, as we've got a free kick, dangerous position on the right, almost as good as a corner, that, and there is a goal we really wanted. 4 without 1 for Liban Elmi. That changes today. We're 2-0 up and we're well on our way now. It should be a comfortable day on paper. It should be a game we win brilliantly. But thankfully, we're doing the job rather than making hard work of it. And that's all I can ask. As Wyatt plays a long goal kick downfield for Borough. Up goes Torres, who gets it towards Teddy Ivanov. And he looks for Garnier, who's actually doing all right down on the right-hand side there. Ukulano cuts in, finds Memic, who's covering at centre-half and doing well. Into Muscat and now Torres again. Getting rid of some of those demons from Wembley before, isn't he still? As Ukulano finds Muscat, he's been magnificent. Great runs in. He's got the worst rating on the pitch though. As Elmi finds Ivanov, it's a good save again. We are tearing Borough apart, as we should be. Their fans are there for the day out. We're there to reach an FA Cup final. And Vasquez with a corner, looking for the back post again. Elmi goes up, behind for another one. The pressure is constant. The highlights are non-stop. And it is all being played at this end of the pitch, which is exactly what we wanted. Vasquez going for the outswinger this time. Keeper comes. Keeper gets there. Not the best delivery that time. 10 to the break though. It's been a great first half. Well, here we are again. It's another corner for Vasquez. This time it's up to the back post for Elmi. And it clips the woodwork on its way over. We're so dominant physically here. And I mentioned they've got a lot of young players who aren't at their best. And while it's a great experience for them, it could well get ugly here because Vasquez has another one. You can see where the bombardment's coming. That one's headed away as far as Andre. He gets it down the line to Garnier and Vasquez and Ukulano. There's the goal we wanted. Julian Ukulano sending off in style. Look, he's not going to be at the club beyond this season. His time is coming to an end, but he has been a legend. And it is great for him to get a Wembley goal in an FA Cup semi-final. Go on, Julian. 3-0 before the break. Well, half-time, no further action, and a very comfortable day at the office so far. Vasquez, what are you unhappy about? Just get on with it. Jeez, you're so negative. I'm going to bring on Gouliard here. He's going to replace Liban Elmi, who he's played 45. He scored the goal. I don't need any more from him. Ivanov will go up front with Gouliard. And then the other change I want to bring on is Roy Curley. But I don't really know who to protect. Probably going to be Memic. And we'll put Vite on the other side of the centre halves. They're the 2 changes made. It must be said we've got most of our substitutes scripted for today if it had gone to plan like this. We want to get a Vucic on, we want to get Marciano on. Torres will get a bit of a rest later. Probably Teddy Ivanov as well, because he's someone we want to keep fit in case we need him midweek. As Garnier throws in towards Ukulano, doing really well at right back. Muscat to Ukulano. Luis Vasquez. Unhappy at half-time, shocking in front of goal. That's why you're not starting more games. We're going to get to the hour mark before making more, but this game is over. There is no doubt. As Vasquez puts a cross in, Yokolano's up. If there was any doubt, a fourth goal would take it away. Garnier to the byline. Chance to get the cross in. Ivanov's in there. And he heads just over the bar. Should have probably done a little better with that chance. I can't be too critical, can I? We're getting a highlight a minute. It's all in their box. And we might have another penalty there, do we? No. Just carries on. Torres on the left-hand side. 4 in the middle. Yokolano's one of them. No one with him. Teddy Ivanov. And he's in the right place at the right time. Bundles it in from a couple of yards. It wasn't a particularly pretty move or finish. But it's effective. It's 4-0 Southend. The FA Cup final can be celebrated. But more importantly, we've got to think about midweek now. And anyone left on the pitch who might feature there will get half an hour off. We're going to go Marciano for Torres. Vasquez is going to come off. Ryan Adamson, the man who's going to get the run. And then really, the changes we've got left are either Vucic or Joe Wills, because both of them could do half an hour. Now, Ivanov's fairly fit. I feel like Vucic is the one to bring on, but I've not really got a sub to take off. What I'm going to do, I think, if anyone can play centre-half here, which Vucic, he's 6 foot, he can do the job. I think I'm going to put him on for Vite, just because we've only got 3 centre-halves fit in the squad. And I don't want to risk losing one of them to injury. So Vucic and Curly will now play central defence. But there's been no threat on our goal, so it shouldn't have too much of an impact on today. As we're back with a free kick in a very dangerous position. 30 yards out, but maybe a little too central for Muscat. He curls it on target though. Wyatt forced into the save. It's behind for a corner kick. Southend continuing to press. It's that ruthless streak we talked about. And I know it's only a cup tie against a poor team, but it's the way morale seems to work in FM. As Vucic is on a centre-half and he scored the header from the corner. He makes it 5. He doesn't score many. We'll certainly take that goal, won't we? Really interesting note for midweek, that. Maybe Bernberg's a striker and Vucic a centre-half. The FM positional gods got it wrong all along. Look at that match momentum. It's our first real hammering of a team this year in terms of the calendar year, and that's going to make a difference. Confidence-wise, it will do something for us, I'm sure of it. As Andre gets down the left to Adamson again, who continues to build his fitness off the bench. And he goes back to Andre. Space to run into. That's a terrible ball. That's a little bit complacent. Just trying to play the Hollywood pass there. Keep it simple and keep playing through them. Ivanov's nicked it back, working hard. Gouillard going forward. Chance to shoot. It's been forced a little wide, but beats his man. And forces a good save from Wyatt, who is still possibly a strong contender for man of the match here. Which tells you everything you need to know. As Gouillard's on corner duty. Good job he's not in the box. He's only about 5'3". As Curly loses that one. Another corner to come. Can we make it 6? I'm sure the fans will be wanting it. Got to take these opportunities to be ruthless. Adamson on the corner. In swinger towards the back post. Roy Curly's up. It's headed away by Bancroft. And Vucic, the last goal scorer, recycles possession. It hasn't calmed down much in his second half, has it? 'Cause we're back at the other end again. Adamson with a corner in. Vucic gets his second. His first 2 goals of the season. And they've come as a centre-half. Really has left me with some thinking to do this, hasn't it? Because if we were carrying on next year, I'd probably have to look at maybe converting him. He is becoming a star. It is Middlesbrough 0, Southend 6. The perfect antidote to what happened in midweek over at the new camp. We're in the final against Liverpool, where we know we're going to have a tough day. We've got another one to come first, because we go to Anfield in midweek. It's the battle of the last 2 Premier League champions. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a title decider. Let's just make sure we've not got any injuries, which I don't think we have. And confirmation that, is it the final game of the year? It is. Our last episode of the season will feature Liverpool in the cup final. Teddy Ivanov with a brace, not as good as Vucic though, eh? We'll be back in a minute to head to Anfield in a game that may decide the Premier League title. Hopefully, we can stay on top. Anything other than a defeat is a fabulous result. Here we go then. It is fitness test time and Jorg Robertson has not made it. So maybe Yokolano will get a squad space yet. We play Liverpool, 2 sides that have been champions the last 2 seasons. We're looking to get the crown back and we have the advantage. But Liverpool can close the gap to 1 and put real pressure on us if they win this one. We both rested players at the weekend. We both got through in the FA Cup. We know we're going to meet again after this. I just want to avoid defeat. We've got superstar of our Twitch save, Junior Krupi, in there. He has had a wonderful season. Cavalcante Smith, I mean, they need no introduction. and then half of those defensive players we tried to sign. I just want to show you Milosevic because I mentioned it when we played them the first day of the season after we missed out on him. He is now the best midfielder in the world at 21. I'm so upset we didn't get him. But either way, we're not going to be playing this team today. We're going to be making 11 changes. We will be back in a minute to run through them. And hopefully the assistant has picked pretty well, so I don't have to do much work. Back in a minute to run through the team. Well, here we go. And a couple of changes have been made based on midweek, or a couple of adaptations. Now, the first of those is that Vucic is going to start a right back ahead of Memic because he was so brilliant when he came on. They're both very similarly rated though. And in midfield, I've gone for Ivo Torres alongside Kivrakidis rather than going for Bernberg or for Marciano. I've also gone for Elmi up front ahead of Wills because obviously he found scoring form again. Only played 45, so he's fresh as a daisy. And Adamson goes on the left instead of Vasquez, who played well in midweek, or the weekend, sorry. He's just a little unhappy. He's a little frustrated. I don't want that spoiling over. So we're going to go for Cusqueta in goal today. And a fully changed back four of Carlos and Vucic at fullback with Rakowski and Hansen in the middle. Torres and Kivrakidis, the midfield duo. Katala on the right due to Robertson's injuries. Adamson over on the left. And then up front is Elmi and Fair. They've got 49 goals between them. We need them in the 50s today. We're going 4-4-2. We're going all out attack. We're going to hope we find a way through Liverpool. Otherwise, this could be a long old afternoon. Well, here we are, as it is 5 changes for our host tonight, who have still got a few big names on the bench, including an original player in Zaire Emery, who's still going strong in this game. But a few of the others missing out. So no Marconi in the squad, no Aslan in the squad. Players who have often played and done well against us before. But they've got that massive defence. Ferguson, Jagadits, Koreski, all big players. Even Meza at fullback. It's a proper centre-half. They're playing the 4, basically like Arsenal. They're trying to be the 4 centre-halves in defence. Milosevic needs no introduction. Junior Krupi, we know what he can do. So let's tell the boys to prove a point. Just need a positive start. One game that we can avoid defeat. And I feel we're there. If we're 4 clear with a game in hand after this, for me, we're going to win the title. And that would be a great finish to the save. Well, with 25 minutes gone, I was almost going to say the same as I did in the last episode against Barca, which is we've got over that first hurdle, but now it's a Liverpool free kick. It's into the box, it's bobbling around. No, the marking. How are we playing as a team that's won 4 of the last 5 Premier League titles, yet we're playing like kids in a playground? When that ball got knocked down from the first header, about 5 or 6 of our players just rushed the ball to try and block the shot. And all he did was square it to Milosevic, who now has no one in sight near him. And while Liverpool haven't offered a lot in this game, we find ourselves 1-0 down. And at half-time, it better just be 1 because Liverpool are on the attack again with Brook and Milosevic. I mean, the difference, I look at a couple of the transfers in this save. If we'd got De Palma instead of Arsenal and if we'd got Milosevic instead of Liverpool, this could have looked very different. But instead, it might get worse. How has that gone in? How has that found its way in? Because Quetta at his near post. Rakowski was favourite prior to that as well. How have we let that in? On a stroke of half time. I don't even know what to do now. Do I just go aggressive and try and get the points back? Because goal difference shouldn't matter at this point. I'm going to go attacking. We're going to go for it. I'll give it 10 minutes, then make the changes because we don't look like scoring for now. And again, this is why we miss Herbert. We've not even given up many chances. But that leadership to organise a defence is just not there. Having said that, Carlos is playing forward. And if we can get an early goal in this half as we pass it straight back to them, it would be a different story. We all remember that League Cup semi-final. Was it last season? Where we were 3-0 down and won it 4-3. But we've had our fair share of hammerings against Liverpool. And look, you've got to be fair to them. In the last couple of seasons, finally a side has given us a real test. They've really dominated English football. They've beaten us in most of the cups. They won the league crown off us last year. And you look at the age of some of their players, particularly in midfield. Milosevic is 21. I know Krupi's a bit older, but they've replaced that old front line they had as well. And after 50 minutes, we've not even managed a shot. And that's despite being a bit more aggressive this half. So with 55 gone, I'm not going to wait anymore. We're going to go Pep Katala off. He's had a really poor second half of the year. Joe Wills is going to come on for him up front with Elmi. We're going to push Nana Fair up there. Adamson will come off for Vasquez. And then I'd like to do more defensively, but I don't have the options. I'm going to do Ivo Torres for Peter Bernberg, and we'll move Kivrakidis over. I know he doesn't like playing box to box. He's had some very good days there for us before. So with an hour gone, I don't know what more I can do. We've gone aggressive. We're attacking. We've got attacking players on. And we've got a chance with Jan Carlos. And that is a big deflection. Keeper dives to his left. It takes a nick off the defender who was marking him. And it goes into the other side of the goal. We don't deserve it, but we've got a goal back. Now, can we nick a point? Can we find a way to nick a point in this match? Which would be just about the best result we could have hoped for. We're going to make a couple more changes. Kivrakidis replaced by Marciano. And Teddy Ivanov is coming on for Liban Elmi. I'm going to do it. In Teddy we trust. We have got 14 minutes plus stoppage time. Please find an equaliser. I don't care how. Just give me an ugly point here. Well, it's a free kick for Liverpool, and you can see we are pressing them high here. That's out of play. Ferguson standing next to the advertising board. Joe Wills wins it back, though. We might like the advantage. Marciano down the left. There's three in the middle. Has to take him on. Gives it away to Brook. The clearance, though, is poor. And Ivusic back in. It's headed away, though. And now we're under threat on the counter because we've committed so many forwards. Marginson down the right. How have Liverpool ended up on the attack from this? God, that is everything that's been wrong with us recently. Let's encourage the boys. Peter Bernberg's lost his mentality again. Forgot what happened in that final, didn't he? And Liverpool have got a bit of control back. We just need one chance. It's going to have to come on the counter because they're battering us. As Wheater gives it to Jagadic, the centre-half. Into Zaire Emery, who's just brought that bit of calm and experience. He gives it away to Carlos, but can only head it straight back under pressure. They've been too good at that stuff. Joe Will's trying to get there this time. They're taking risks at the back, but you can see we're just hounding them. We're running after them like lunatics. It's the only way I can think to try and get in here. Rakoski makes a good tackle to Ivusic. Now break. Ivusic down the line. Teddy Ivanov controls it with his chest. Forced backwards, though. It's great defending. Ivusic is on the run, though. Finds Nana Fair. Beats his man. Nana Fair. 2-2. Get in there. That's the goal we're looking for. Now, get behind the ball and time waste for your lives, please. Nana Fair back there. Marciano. Oh, please don't concede from here. Please don't. This would be the point. This would be the finish we want. We have to hold on now. Nana Fair drops to an unnatural right midfield position. We're going to stop running at the defence, I think. We're going to slow the pace down. We're going to time waste. We're going to do everything in the book we can to slow this match and get our result. We're still going to try and counter and have a threat. But for now, please, please let me hold on. I might even press a bit less often here or just do it from a lower place on the pitch. There are 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Nana Fair, he took a while to get going. But as the replacement for Dion Kranic, he has finally found some form. But has he just scored the goal that gives us a chance to win the title? There are 4 minutes of stoppage time to go. I'm dropping to cautious. We've had 3 shots all game, but we've scored 2 of them. And it might be enough. It is going to be enough. Liverpool 2, Southend United 2. What a second half comeback. An element of fortune, an element of luck in a result. But what a moment. A performance of champions there in that second half. I'm so proud of that to salvage something from the game. And now we've got a 4-point advantage with a game in hand. Liverpool can only get to 87. Now, last year they were in the 90s, which is why we couldn't get anywhere near them. Let's go and have a look at our remaining fixtures because it should be job done now. Let's attend the press conference and do all of the usual stuff. Very short one for a big game like that. But of course, it is not the final farewell with Liverpool because we've beaten them in a Carabao Cup final, having let them win various trophies at our expense in recent years. But it looks like we've now won 2 of the 3 trophies off them. Can we do the same again in the FA Cup final? We will be back for that and the final game of the season, barring any drama in the meantime. I'm expecting us to be champions when we return. 4 of our remaining 5 games are at home. Sheffield United are bottom half. Hull are drifting after a really good start. They've been poor second half of the year. Fulham are battling relegation and Chelsea are not far above that in 14th place. They are not the Chelsea of old. So I'm expecting to be celebrating the title when we return next time and seeing if we can make it a first ever domestic treble, which would be the beautiful way to finish this save. In essence, though, and I think we've learned from this, that we are not seeing any detrimental effect from pre-announcing our retirement for the end of the season. What we are getting is an inspired comeback against Liverpool and an emphatic win in the FA Cup semi-final. Can we make it a treble or a double? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. If you enjoyed it, 2 thrillers, one with a ruthless streak to it, and in fact, both were ruthless because with 3 shots to score 2 goals and come back against the champions, it's no mean feat at all. If you want to stay up to date and see how we finish, whether we win 1, 2 or 0 more trophies, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time for the final regular episode of this save before we do a couple of little special bits at the end. It's been quite a dynasty at Southend United, but we want to make it count one more time. We will be back at Wembley again for the FA Cup final, and for the 3rd time, it's us v Liverpool in the battle for the domestic trophies. Not the first season we've said that. Let's see who comes out on top.